Um, this is probably going to be one of the, I don't even know how to start this. I'm gonna try my hardest to get through this. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm trying not to cry right in the first 5 minutes. For the past 9 months, I have been in arguably one of the worst mentally, physically abusive relationships I could ever imagine. Something I never thought that I would be experiencing, things I've only seen on TV, things that I've heard stories about, and things that I just knew I would never let happen to me. And I've been going through it for the past 9 months. This is probably one of the hardest things I've had to talk about in my life. There's not a single person in my life that knows the full story. There's not, my parents don't know, my sister doesn't know, my best friends don't know. Nobody knows the true extent of what I was put through. And I ask the universe every day, why me? Why did I go through this? Why me? Why was I put through this? Why me? And I truly think that it's to help other people. I think I was put in this position to not share my story, but to share yours. At the end of the day, this isn't about me. This is such a bigger picture to what millions of women go through. This is not my story. This is your story. This is not about me. This is about you. This is about us as people. And I hope that this can help somebody, because honestly, I don't want to cry. If 6 months ago, I had seen a video like this, I would have saved my life. It would have saved my life. If I had seen a video like this 6 months ago, if I seen this video, sorry, I have a little whiteboard of all the important dates so I don't misspeak. If I had seen a video like this, whoa, I don't even know if I could do this. I don't even know if I could do this. Hold on. Sorry, I just went and grabbed some water. But I just know that if I had seen this, if I had seen a video like this 6 months ago, it would have saved my life. It would have, I can't express how much a video like this would have saved me. So all I'm hoping, and the reason that I do think I was put through this, because as many times as I can run my brain through why me, why did this happen to me, why did this person do this to me, the only thing I can think of is genuinely to help somebody else, because I know for a fucking fact that if I saw this shit, it would have saved my life. So as I go through this story, as I explain the past 9 months of my life, please know that if you have experienced any of this, he does not love you. He does not love you. You may think he does, but he doesn't. And I wish somebody could have done this for me and saved me. This was one of the most isolated times in my life. Like, oh God, I feel... I'm worried about, like, how much I'm talking in the beginning, but who fucking cares? Like, I don't fucking care. I've never talked about this, from start to finish before and gotten into all the details. I don't even know when I'm going to post this because I want to make sure that I'm mentally ready. And I did think that I was mentally ready to sit down and record this video because it's been about a month since we've broken up. But as I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm ready. Because I have to sit here and relive every single moment. Like, okay. I just have to keep telling myself there's no perfect way to do this. There's no perfect way to explain what happened to me. And, but yeah, this is for you watching this. He does not love you. This is not normal behavior. It will not change. It will never change. It will not change until you leave. If I would have stayed in this situation, I would have died. If my best friend was not home for 2 of these times, I would not have woken up the next morning by the hands of somebody who looked me in the eyes and said they loved me and cared about me and would never hurt me. I would not be sitting here today if I had stayed and if my best friend didn't come into that room. I wouldn't be here today. And that's genuinely why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I never want anybody to ever have to experience something like this. And if me telling my story can get anybody, any of you out of a situation like this, to open your eyes to realize that this is not normal, this is not normal, this is not normal, then I have done something right. And I think God every day that he did this to me and not somebody else. Because I'm glad I was able to make it out. I just don't want to say anybody. If I could just get through somebody's head, or even if you are not even dating somebody right now, but you get into a relationship in the future and these things happen, please leave. You will not live. If he can hit you, he will kill you. I can't express it enough. Okay. Throughout this story, I'm gonna try to go from start to finish. This is my story. I am telling nothing. I am telling nothing but the God honest truth. Everything that is said in this video has receipts, has photos, has videos, proof to back it up, witnesses, call records to the domestic violence hotline. Nothing said in this video is false. Everything I'm saying in this video is not alleged, is not speculation, but is true, honest fact. of what happened throughout these 9 months. So, I'm just going to start from the beginning. I'm sorry if I keep looking over here. I have a whiteboard of a lot of major dates written down here, just so I don't skip anything that might be important. I'm sure I'm going to skip a lot of important things. I'm sure I'm going to skip a lot of little details or little stories that aren't little in the grand scheme of things, but you know, when there's so many, I might skip over some things, not on purpose. It's just, you know, your brain blocks a lot of things out. Oh, like I literally just remembered something I have to write down. So this all started near the end of May. I had just moved to California with my best friend Emma, and we were living our life single, and she ends up meeting somebody, and he has a friend, and they were like, you guys should come down to Nashville for Memorial Weekend. Like, it'll be so fun. Like, we can all hang out, you know, little boat weekend. And at this time, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I had actually just gotten out of a 3-year relationship, like, almost a year before this. Not even, maybe, it doesn't matter, like 7 months before this. I just was really enjoying the single life. Like, I remember not wanting to date anybody. So I was going into this as like, oh, hang out for the weekend, hook up, and then I'll never talk to him again. Like, that was my mindset 100%. So I'm FaceTiming this guy for about a week. And then I end up booking a flight, and I fly down to Nashville with my best friend. But we spent 4 days together, and it was just great. And I, near the end of the trip, had cotton feelings when I didn't want to. But I just genuinely fell head over heels for this guy. He was just like this fratty, like, the best way to describe him, he was just like this frat guy, you know? And he didn't care about anybody, but for some reason he cared about me. And it made me feel like the most special person in the room. Like, knowing that he could have anybody he wanted, and he would tell me these stories of how he had over 100 bodies, and he was just this player, and da-da-da, but, oh, he's sitting here with me on this houseboat, you know, he's posting me on his story, and it just made me feel really special for these 4 days, and it made me feel really important and wanted. And a huge factor before this, off topic, I'm going to pause this here, I was just in a very fragile state during this time, because about 2 months prior to this, I had found out I was pregnant, and I had to go through an abortion, and it was one of the most traumatizing things in my life, and that is not what this story is about. But I was just very fragile, because that was my last experience with a guy, was getting pregnant, having an abortion, going through it alone, and just all this shit. So I was just like in a very fragile state, and I'm not trying to like pity myself here. I'm just like honestly saying, like, the fact that this guy was just making me feel the way he did just felt 10 times better than it normally would have, because I was just like so fragile. And I remember the first day I met him, like I told him all that stuff. I was like, I just went through an abortion, like I'm going through a lot of shit. And we just sat there and cried to each other, and I don't know. Moral of the story, I just fell head over heels for this guy. So after about 4 days, we end up flying from Nashville back to California. And I was like, I want to see him again. And he had told me that, so I had flown back home to California on like a Tuesday. And the following Sunday, I went there from like a Thursday to a Tuesday, got back home on Tuesday to California. And then he had told me that on that Sunday of like that coming weekend, he was going to be going to court for some legal things. He didn't know how much time he'd be getting in jail. He was just in some legal trouble, and he had a court date, and he was going to find out how much time he was going to have in jail. It could range anywhere from like 2 days to 2 years. Like, we had no idea. So I knew that like, oh, this might be my last time seeing him. And so I'm sitting there the day we flew back, and this is the decision that changed my life. Instead of, it's crazy, like this one decision genuinely changed my fucking life. I sat there and I was like, should I fly back down for the weekend before he, you know, goes to his court and finds out what's happening and see him one last time? Or do I stay home and leave it as like it was just this hookup with a fun guy? But I had really fallen for him, so I booked a ticket, and 2 days after coming back home, that Thursday or Friday, I had flown back down, got an Airbnb, and I was going to see him for one final time. So we spent that whole weekend together. Once I flew down, I got my hair done, everything to look all good for him. I get down there, and it's like the sparks are even bigger this time. He picked us up. I had gotten us an Airbnb. We spent the whole weekend just same thing, cliff jumping, swimming, just having a good weekend because he didn't know how long he was going to be going to jail for, or if he was going to be going to jail, and I didn't know either, and I had really caught in feelings for him. So then Sunday comes around, or Monday, I'm not sure exactly what day it was. He had his court hearing, and so I go to court with him. And they sentence him to 22 days, and then he's free. He's out. So, I gave him a hug, and we went back home. He had like a few hours before he had to turn himself in. We took a nap, and, I told him I was going to wait for him, and that, I would answer every time he'd call me on the jail phone, whatever. And he was like, that's fine. Cool deal. I'll see you when I'm out. So he ends up going to jail. I fly back home to California that night, and I am just like so upset. I'm like, dude, this guy that I really like is in jail. Which honestly was probably the universe's way of being like, So he's gone for 22 days. And not that this matters. We weren't dating or anything, but that whole time I was loyal. Every single time he answered the jail phone, I answered. I literally have the Tennessee jail phone number saved in my phone as Jail Rooney. So that every time Jail Rooney's calling, and I'd press 1 or 2, whatever number it was, and it'd be like, you're speaking to da-da-da-da, and I'd answer. And I did not miss a single phone call. I put over $500 on the jail phone just so I could talk to him. Whatever. So 22 days goes by pretty fast, and I end up booking a flight down so that I can be there to pick him up from jail. So I fly down to Nashville, and one of his friends picks me up from the airport, and we are driving to the jail to go pick him up. We get there, he comes out, everything's good, gives me a big hug, and I'm just like so happy, you know? He's free! So we end up staying at his friend's house, and my friend Emma ends up flying down that night to Tennessee to hang out with us. And so it's all of us at the place again. And so this was June 24th is the day that he was let out of jail, and I picked him up and flew down and all of that at once. And this was the first time that, he had shown me a quite visible red flag that I chose to ignore. So that day we kind of just are drinking and hanging out. We go out to dinner, and, you know, things are fine. And we end up going back to the house, and we're laying in bed talking, and he looks at me and he's like, you fucked my best friend. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he just goes on this whole rant, and he's like crying to me and getting very like vocally up. And at this point in my life, I had never even been called a bitch by a past relationship. I had never been called a single name by a past relationship. I had never had a man honestly talk to me in any type of like necessarily disrespectful way. Like a man had never calling me like a bitch, a cunt, a whore, nothing to my face, ever. Or even like raise their voice at me, like really looking back at it. Like I had never had that happen. So he's like raising his voice at me, and he's just accusing me of cheating on him. And I'm like, dude, I just picked you up from jail. Like, I just spent $700 to fly down, pick you up from jail. Like, what? Like, it was just, I don't know. It was, like, weird. He was just, like, accusing me of it. And it turns into this whole thing of he just doesn't even want to sleep with me. And it's our first night back. And it was just so weird. And he was just nonstop accusing me of cheating on him. And also at this point, I had never even been accused of cheating on a guy because I don't do that. So I'm just like, I don't know. It was like my first time seeing a different side of him. I don't think that night that he called me a bitch. I don't think he had called me a name, but he had raised his voice, was yelling at me, and was accusing me of fucking his friends. And I was just like, what the hell? And it just made no sense because I had just flown across the country to get him out of jail, to pick him up. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, I was confused. And I really had thought that it was just, you know, he's out of jail right now. He's just settling back in. He's probably overthinking a lot, you know. I just kind of brush it off. I shouldn't have, but I just kind of brushed it off. I was like, whatever. In hindsight, huge red flag. So after that, the rest of my time in Nashville with him, there was a few things he did that were weird. But I brushed them all off. I brushed everything off. So at that point, I had told him that he should come to California with me after a week of being in Nashville with him. And I was like, hey, come to California, come stay at my house, whatever. Come to my house, like, let's go to California, like, you've never been there, like, just come to my house, you know, come over. And he's like, I'm down. So I end up booking him a plane ticket to California, the both of us, and we fly down to California for the 4th of July. We get there on July 3rd, I'm pretty sure, and get home, go to bed, and then it's 4th of July, and I'd been invited to this house party that I was really excited to go to. It was with a bunch of other influencers and people I knew, people in my circle of work and what I do, and people that I am friends with. So I was excited to introduce them to people. I thought it was going to be fun. So we pregame, we Uber to this house party. It's like a Darty day party. And we get there, and I'm saying hi to everybody and introducing him to my friends. He's being fun. He's talking to everybody. And I just, like, give him a hug and a kiss. And I'm like, thank you for, like, being cool. Like, you're actually, like, a fun time. Like, people are, like, liking you. Like, this is awesome. And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, whatever, babe. And so I end up getting pretty belligerent this night. It was 4th of July. And towards the middle of the night, this one guy comes up to me. And we're talking by the pool. And mind you, my boyfriend at the time, was sitting, like, right next to me. And I'm talking to this guy. And I'm just talking to him about how I met my boyfriend and how he had just gotten out of jail and how much I like him. And it's scary because I've only known him for about a month and a half and all this and that. And so my boyfriend is watching this. And instead of, this was his first time doing something like this. He looks at this and me talking to this guy, and he immediately thinks, oh, she wants to fuck him. And starts going up to all of my friends at this party and other influencers at this party, who I know, and goes up to them and is like, do you see that blonde girl over there? Yeah, that's my girlfriend. She's a slut. She's a whore. She'll fuck any guy here. Is going from guy to guy to guy at this party of people that I know, going, oh yeah, you see that girl? Yeah, she's my girlfriend. She's a slut. She's a whore. Don't you think she's a whore? And is doing this for about an hour. And then comes up to me, and I'm like, hey, do you want to get in the pool? And he's like, yeah, I just told everybody here that, like, you're a whore, and they agree. And I sat there, and I was like, actually in shock. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm sorry if that upset you. Like, I was literally talking about you for the past hour. Like, I was standing right in front of you. Like, I wasn't flirting with him. Like, you could have gotten in the conversation if you got uncomfortable. You could have pulled me aside. Like, I'm sorry, I did not mean to make you uncomfortable. Like, I didn't think I did anything wrong. Like, I was, like, but, like, even talking about it now, I'm like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Like, should I have not had a conversation with this guy? Like, but like, it's crazy. I still feel like I'm in the wrong. Months later, so he basically is like, no, like, you're just a whore. Like, everybody here agrees with it. Like, yeah, good job. And I'm just sitting here in shock. So I'm sitting in the pool of this party alone, just sobbing. I don't know what's happening. Like, I can't explain how. I've never had something like that happen in my life. And he came up to me and confidently told me that, yeah, I just told everybody at this party that you're a slut, you're a whore, and they agree with me, all because I was talking to somebody right in front of him. Like, he heard the conversation. Like, I wasn't flirting with this guy. Like, I was talking about him. I was talking about how we met. And he could have joined this conversation at any time, but instead he took it upon himself to make a fool out of me. Just embarrassing. So I tried to make things right, and it was 4th of July, and I was like, hey, how about we go Uber to, where was it? Long Beach. I was like, let's Uber to Long Beach. I heard there's a fireworks show. He's like, I don't want to go. I was like, can we please go? Like, it's 4th of July. Basically, I have to drag him to this Uber. I spent like $150 on this Uber because Long Beach is really far away. And we get there, and we get to Long Beach, and we had missed the fireworks show. It was too late. We missed it by like 30 minutes. And he's very mad at me at this point. And I don't think I had seen him this mad before throughout my time of knowing him. So I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, you know, I don't understand what I did wrong. Like, I really am confused. Like, you know, aren't relationships about communication? You should have communicated that you're uncomfortable. I don't know what I did wrong. So we just end up getting into an argument, and I'm like standing on the sidewalk, and on the sidewalk, there's like the sidewalk and then this like channel of seawater, like not like the ocean. Well, yeah, the ocean, but it's like channel water, like disgusting channel water. It's in Long Beach. And I'm standing, and I'm like, all right, if you're so mad, just push me in, obviously joking. He pushes me into this ocean, this channel of dirty water, fully clothed. People are literally like staring. They see him push me in, and I'm just sitting there like in shock. It was just so disgusting. I was soaking wet. I get out of the water, and he had the split second of feeling bad, and then he jumped in the water full enclosed, and he was like, I'm sorry, like I didn't think about it. And I'm like, what the hell? Anyways, so that was 4th of July for me last year. I hope that story made sense. With these stories that aren't the worst of the worst, I just, like, my brain's like, oh, it's whatever. But yeah, you know, it is kind of bad that he was calling me a slut to everybody and then pushed me in the ocean. So we end up spending the next week together. I can't necessarily remember if we got into any more fights that trip. I know we ended up driving up to Yosemite. We had a good trip there. I can't recall if we got into any more fights that trip, but I remember waking up the next morning after 4th of July, and we both apologized. I wake up, and he apologized to me, and he just said he was sorry, and that it was my fault, and that I'm not allowed to talk to any man ever, doesn't matter. And I was just like, okay, I'm sorry. That was that. So then we spend the next week together, and he ends up going back home on July 13th. He goes back home to Nashville, and at this point, I'm at home in California. My best friend, my roommate, is with me and her boyfriend, and the first 2 nights that we were away were okay, I think, and then it was the 3rd night that he calls me with his friends. And my roommate, Emma, is a witness of this, because I remember I went into her room just sobbing, because I've never in my life been talked to like this. This was the first time he's ever said things like this to me. He calls me, and he's with his friends, and I answer the phone, and he just goes, "You're the biggest slut I've ever fucking met." And I'm like, what? And he just starts going on this whole tangent about how loose my pussy is, and how disgusting I am, and how I probably have over 100 bodies, and I'm lying about my body count. I'm a slut. I'm a whore. Just every name you could probably think of to just degrade me as a woman. And he's with his friends, and his friends are all laughing, joining in on it. And he's just screaming at me, calling me like the most insane names. And I'm just sitting there like tears streaming down my face. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And once again, thought I was fucking his best friend. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was just accusing me of cheating on him. And mind you, we would fall asleep on FaceTime every night. I wasn't allowed not to fall asleep on FaceTime with him. Like, we had to fall asleep on FaceTime every night. He had my location. I would snap him throughout the day. I'd call him throughout the day. Yeah, I don't know. So, he just calls me every name in the book. So I get really anxious. And at this point I was very dependent on him. And, I booked a plane ticket that night for $700 to go fly down and make sure that he still liked me. So yeah, July 13th, he goes back home. Third day, he calls me all these names. Later to find out about a week later that the night he was calling me these names, a slut, a whore, he had 3 girls over and then his 2 other friends. So 3 guys, 3 girls over at his house. I don't know what happened. I don't care what happened. At this point, cheating is not one of my concerns, but he did have 3 girls over at his apartment that night, and they were all drinking. And I found out because they had made a TikTok and tagged me in it. And I confronted him about it when I saw it. And he got mad at me about it and said, why am I overthinking? So, yeah, that's like just cheating is the least of my concerns right now. I could honestly care less, but just thought that was funny to add in. So this is where my timeline might be a little blurry, because this is where things start to take a turn for the worst. There's 2 times in the beginning, the first times that he had ever gotten physical with me. And I can't exactly remember which time it was. But I'm gonna try my best to remember, because I had taken videos of both times, but you'll hear later in the story that he found out that I had started to document the times he had put his hands on me, and he had deleted a lot of my proof, but I was smart and I put a lot of them in my hidden folder. So I still have a good amount, but some of them were lost and some of them I got anxious and deleted, but he just deleted a majority of them sometime in October, but we'll get there. So I ended up booking a plane ticket down for $700 after he had called me all of these names, and I fly down, and he's like, if you fly down, I'm not picking you up from the airport. I don't want to see you. You're a slut. And I'm like, I'm coming down. Like, I just don't want to lose you, whatever. And if you've never been in a situation like this, you most likely just are sitting here like, are you dumb? Like, he's calling you these names. He's pushed you in a lake at this, or the ocean at this point, like humiliated you. Like, why do you still care? And when you're in a, at this point, mentally abusive relationship, you have the highest highs and the lowest lows. And that is what gets you to stay, because after every single bad thing he had done to me, he would wake up the next morning, act like nothing happened, give me a hug and a kiss, tell me exactly what I want to hear, and then we'd have like 2 good days together. And at this point, my roommate was not with me. Me and my dad were not on speaking terms. My sister was not talking to me. So I was completely isolated. I had nobody to talk to besides him. I had just gone through an abortion. Like, I was in a very fragile state. Like, I had nobody else really. He was the only person I would even talk to. I do wonder if it would have ended earlier if I had my dad at this time, but he had stopped talking to me. The highs are so high and the lows are so low, and if you've been in a situation like this before, or you currently are, you know how hard it is to leave and how easy it is to stay, especially when they're the only person that you have at the moment. It's like, you don't even, and it's crazy because I would always tell myself, like, I would never even let a guy call me a bitch. And then I'm sitting here and this guy's calling me a bitch, a whore, a slut, like, your pussy's so loose, da-da-da-da. And I'm sitting here and I'm staying, and it's crazy because it's like I had always had these morals for myself. And it's like, did this guy just catch me at my weakest moment and just know how to like sink his claws into me? Or like, I don't know, but I didn't leave. And I, in no way, shape, or form, will be taking blame for what happened to me because I stayed. Because at the end of the day, he shouldn't have done this to me. He knew what he was doing. He knew how he was manipulating me. And in no way, shape, or form is it my fault that this happened to me. And it's not my fault. And that's something that I'm going to therapy for PTSD right now. And that's something that I've had to learn, is that it's not my fault. I stayed because I was manipulated into it. And I was stuck in this head fuck of a situation. And how I got out is something I'm forever thankful for. But it's not my fault because I stayed. And I'm kind of just saying that for myself. I don't know if you watching this, I don't know. I'm kind of just saying that for myself. It's not my fault that I stayed. And I hope to God nobody is ever put in a position to where you understand what I mean. But if you know, you know. I didn't leave, and I wish I did, but I didn't. And so I flew down because I didn't want to lose him. And he does end up picking me up from the airport, and we act like everything is fine. Like, he never said those things to me on the phone. Like, nothing happened. Like, literally nothing happened at all. So I'm like, okay. I think I ended up staying there for like 2 days. And then I had to fly back because it was my roommate's 21st birthday coming up. So I'm there for like 2 days. I fly back down, and it is my roommate's birthday. I ended up having fun with my friend on her birthday. And the next day, I fly back down to Nashville to see him because I wanted to see him and I missed him. And, you know, I just didn't want to be away from him because every time I felt like I was away from him, I felt like it would be easier for him to just hate me and believe what his brain was telling himself about me, and that I was just, I don't know why I kept going back, but I did. I was just so attached. I fly down on, I think it was like August 2nd or August 3rd. Somewhere around August. It might have been August 9th. It might have been this night. I'm not sure exactly what night it was. He picks me up from the airport, and he's like really nice. He's being really sweet. And he tells me he has a surprise for me. And I'm like, oh, what's the surprise? And he brings me into his room, and he had built this vanity for me. Maybe he didn't build it yet. No, he had gotten the parts. He had bought a vanity for me. And he had all the parts sitting on the ground, and my favorite Arnold Palmer drink on the bed, and cheesy popcorn and all this stuff. And he was like, so you can film your TikToks at my house when you come over, and you know, I just want you to be here. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, thank you. And I start crying, and it was awesome. And I'm pretty sure that night we built the vanity, or the next morning, something like that. I'm not sure exactly what day I flew down. Once again, I would have to check. So then we get to August 7th. I'm pretty sure this is the day it happened, because he hadn't gotten physical with me yet at this point. So this is the day that he had asked me to be his girlfriend. So he had gotten me this vanity after I'd phoned down everything. And this night, he ended up having drinks. We were drinking in his apartment. I'm not sure if we went out that night. But something had set him off. I can't remember what it was. I don't know what it was. But he was just getting very agitated and angry and aggressive. And, you know, it's kind of scary. I'm 5'4", and he's 6-something. And we'll always talk about how he can break somebody's nose and how he's curb stomped people before. And he's just getting very aggressive and angry. And I'm just like, please calm down. Please calm down. Once again, I can't really remember what set him off. But he was intoxicated. So that's when he's like, I'm gonna go. I'm leaving. And I was like, where are you going? And I see him grab his keys, and he goes downstairs towards his car. So I chase after him because I didn't want him to drunk drive. He was going to kill himself, you know, like, he was so drunk and angry, like he was going to kill himself or get arrested. Like I obviously didn't want that to happen. So I run downstairs after him, and at this point he's getting in his car, and I get in the passenger seat, and I have the door open and my feet on the pavement. And I'm like, please do not go anywhere. Please do not go anywhere. And I don't know if I grabbed the keys or I don't know what had happened. But he ends up getting really like mad about not being able to drive his car or me not wanting him to go. I'm not sure what it was. And he looks at me and he balls up his fist. And this was my first time ever seeing him like this. And he balls up his fist. He looks at me like this. And I'm sitting there and I'm like I was like, what the and he like looks at me. He goes like this, like, you know, like he was going to hit me, turns around and punches his windshield so hard that it completely shatters his entire car windshield because I did not want him to drink and drive. And I remember sitting there after he did that. And I closed the car door. And I like slid down onto the pavement. And I just started sobbing because I was like, he almost just hit me. He almost just hit me. Like, he almost just socked me in the face. But last second decided to like punch his car windshield and completely shattered it. Then I remember being like, I shouldn't be scared of the person I love. Like, why did he just like, it, like in that moment, it was like a wire in my brain had just been like snipped. Like seeing that much anger come from him and like making me that scared. I was sitting there. I can't even, I can't explain like what I felt. I was like, he almost just socked me in the face. And now he just busted his entire car windshield. I'll include a picture of that. The only picture that I can find right now is when we had put in a golf ball on top of it to make it look like a golf ball had hit it for like Snapchat clickbait. Because he didn't want us to tell anybody about what had actually happened, about him punching it instead of punching me in the face. So we told everybody, his family, my family, anybody that set up on my Snapchat, that I'm pretty sure like a golf ball hit it or a rock hit it or something. But no, in reality, he had punched his windshield because he wanted to hit me so bad, but didn't. And that night, after that, I can't remember if he actually did end up driving off. I don't know. But I remember after he did that, I kind of just like gave up and I was scared of him at that point. And I went back upstairs into the bed and he came up and told me he loved me and asked me to be his girlfriend. And after seeing something like that, I said yes. Because what would happen if I said no? And that was the day I started to fear my boyfriend. You know, like, the name calling was pretty bad, but it didn't scare me. Didn't scare me. But that was the first time I ever feared him. And I went to bed eyes open that night. And I couldn't call anybody and tell them, because what am I gonna say? You know, like, what was I gonna say? But, you know, I just hoped in the back of my mind he wouldn't take it to the point where it was me, and I hoped that, was just, a drunk mistake, but, it wasn't. August 9th, 2024, 2 days later, was the first time that he had ever gotten physical with me. And before I filmed this video, I had to rewatch the videos I have of this happening to me. So every time I talk about it, I just like replays in my head of me crying and hearing him hit me up against the wall. And this is what replays in my head every fucking night, every fucking time. Every fucking time. I even like try to look a guy in the eyes. I can't because this is all I see. I'm fucking like scared. Okay. Sorry, I just had to like take a moment. Okay. August 9th, we end up going out. It was a Friday. And so we wanted to go to Broadway, you know, as one does on a Friday in Nashville. So we end up going out. And I remember this night almost to a T, besides what my brain has like blocked off. But I know I did not get that belligerent that night. But we're having a great time. We're not fighting. We're not having any arguments. Just, you know, the casual calling me a slut, whore, or whatever, which at this point was pretty normal to me. But it was all right. So we end up leaving. I'm pretty sure it was Honky Tonk. And we get in an Uber and we're on our way back to his house. And we're in the Uber and he looks at me and I don't know what provoked this, but he was like, "You're a slut," or something like that, and then slaps me in the face. But it wasn't like a hard slap. It was kind of like a that. And I was like dumb. It was kind of like a that. And I looked at him and I was like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And call me. So I get out of the Uber as it's moving and I start just like walking in any direction that I could away from it. And at this point, I had grabbed his phone because I forgot to say this. Like I say, I forget little things that he did because the big ones are just so big. But at this point, whenever we would get into a fight and he would just accuse me of being a whore and stuff, he would post on his Snapchat story and be like, "Kayla Malec is a whore. Kayla Malec is a slut." And then text girls. So at this point, whenever things would start up, I would just take his phone because he would do things like that. And I just didn't like it. But the Uber was already on the way home. And maybe it wasn't the smartest thing to take his phone. But the Uber was on the way home. I had paid for it. So I get out of the Uber. And I have his phone. I have my phone. And I walk to this the bar that we had just left. And mind you, I don't know anybody in Nashville besides him. So I have nobody to call. I have nobody to text. I have nobody to help me in this situation. Like my boyfriend had just called me a slut and slapped me in the face in the back of an Uber. So I'm kind of in shock. And I walk up to the security at Honky Tonk and I just start crying to them. And then I realized, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I can't tell them that my boyfriend did that to me." So I just tell them about the situation that I was going through with my dad and just start crying about that. And they're like, "Okay, well, we'll listen, but girl, call an Uber home." So I call another Uber. And then I'm like, "Oh my God, what if my boyfriend got out of the car and he's looking for me?" So I get out of that Uber and I start running down the street to Broadway looking for him. And I'm like, "Oh my God, where is he? Where is he? Like, what if he left the Uber? What if he got out of the Uber? Like, what if something bad happened?" And I can't find him. So at this point, I just stand on the corner of this bar and I just start sobbing. And this group of guys comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And mind you, they're in their like 30s or 40s. Me like having to justify just people being decent human beings, just I can't. Anyways, but they were like 30, 40 before anybody's like, "You slut." Because I just think everybody sorry. And they come up to me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just sobbing. And I'm like, "My boyfriend just slapped me in the face." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "My boyfriend just slapped me in the face and called me a slut." So I got out of the Uber. Like, I have his phone. Like, I'm in shock right now. And he's like, "You can't go back there." And I'm like, "I don't know anybody else here." And this group of guys are just like, "You can't go back there." And I'm like, "I have to. Like, all my stuff's there. Like, I don't know anybody else here. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do." And so I end up calling an Uber on my phone, my third Uber. And I'm like, "I have to go. I'm sorry." And so I end up telling this group of guys. They stayed with me until my Uber got there. And I'm just kind of sobbing to them about what had happened. And the Uber gets there and I get in the Uber. And the guy goes up to the Uber driver. He like leans over the window and he's like, "Do not let that girl do not let that girl go back to her boyfriend's house. Like, he's gonna hit her. He's gonna kill her. And I remember being like, I have to go back there. So I look at the Uber driver and I'm like, drive, he's crazy, he's crazy. And the Uber driver drives off. And, like, why did I do that? Like, why did I sit here and, like, I don't know. I didn't know anybody else. I don't know. I think if I would have known what would have happened later that night, I wouldn't have gotten in that Uber, and I would have listened to those guys, and I would have booked myself a hotel and went back in the morning. But I didn't, because I didn't know that people were capable of taking things this far at this point. I knew what he was capable of, and I knew what he was capable of, but not that he would ever do it to me. You know, like, who does that to their girlfriend? Like, you hear about people getting beat in movies and on the news and in documentaries, and why would that happen to me? Why would it, you know? So I end up getting back home about an hour after him. And I know this because we had talked about it later on, but I get back about an hour after him. And I walk in the front door, and he's leaned over the toilet, just barfing. And I'll never, ever, ever forget the look in his eyes when I walked in that door. I walk in, and he's leaned over like this. And when I walk in the room, he goes, like, this is gonna look dumb, but he, like, looked up at me with, like, his eyes wide like this. And, like, there was no soul in his eyes. They were empty. And I remember my biggest compliment for him, like, when I had first started to get him, is that he had these puppy dog eyes. You know, they were full of soul and light and happiness and joy. And after this day, his eyes stayed hollow and lifeless and soulless. But his eyes just, I can't even explain the look in his eyes. I can't explain it. And he looks up at me. And he stands up and he goes, "You stupid fucking bitch. Where the fuck were you?" And I'm like, "You slapped me in the face in the Uber. What the fuck was I gonna do? Sit there and, like, sit next to you? Like, I'm not gonna sit in a 20-minute Uber ride back home after you just slapped me in the face. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?" And so he's like, "I know you were fucking somebody. You were fucking somebody." I'm like, "You have my location. Like, here's your phone. Go check my Life 360 track. Like, I stayed on Broadway. I was at Honky Tonk the whole time crying to these people about how you just slapped me in the face." Well, I was telling him that I told people that he slapped me in the face, but in reality, I only told one person that he slapped me in the face, and that I did tell the, doesn't matter, but I told the Honky Tonk people that, my dad was going through things and what our issues were, but I told one guy, the group of guys, that my boyfriend had slapped me in the face. But I was like, I was literally just crying about what had happened. And he's like, "Do you understand that, like, when you jumped out of the Uber, I jumped out after you, couldn't find you, had to pull out $80 cash to go give somebody to take me home." And I'm like, "Then why'd you slap me in the face?" Like, he sat there and he was trying to, like, twist it. He's like, "No, this is your fault. Like, you made me spend $80 to go home." And I'm like, "You slapped your girlfriend in the face and called me a slut. Was I supposed to sit in the Uber with you that I paid for? What the fuck is wrong with you?" So he sits there and he's twisting it, and he's like, "No, you just made me spend $80 on an Uber home, whatever." And so we just start arguing, and I'm just like, "Do you not see what you did wrong? Like, apologize to me." And so things are just heating up, and he's calling me names, and we're arguing, and I'm just in shock that he is standing on slapping me in the face. And at this point, he punches me in the face. Oh my God. He punches me in the face. It starts just going. Just beat the fuck out of me, really. To the point where there was teeth indents in my lip. I couldn't eat for 3 days because, like, my jaw felt like it had unclicked because he had just gotten me so hard. I don't remember how I felt in that moment. I don't remember how I felt in that moment. I wish I did. I don't know how I felt in that moment. He then turns around and punches straight into the vanity that we had just built. Glass goes everywhere, all over my stuff. And then he goes into the bathroom. And this is where I started to record. He's in the bathroom and he's washing his hands and he's calling me a bitch, a slut, saying it's my fault that he had cut his hand on the vanity. Blaming it all on me, saying it's my fault. I mean, you'll see it. I'm gonna include all of the videos at the end of this video with dates attached to them, so you know when was when. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm gonna do this. And so I go into the bathroom and I'm like, you just broke my fucking jaw, and I could barely talk at this point. And I'm just crying, and I'm like, you just broke my fucking jaw, you just broke my fucking jaw, you just broke my fucking jaw, and I can't stop saying that. And I'm just like, you broke my fucking jaw. And I go into the bathroom, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You just beat the fuck out of me, like, my jaw is broken, like, there's teeth indents in my lip, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So he's just like, get the fuck away, screaming at me, and I'm like, what the fuck did you just do? And at this point, I've never been in a domestic violence situation, so I didn't know that you need to step back, because they're just gonna keep doing it. I didn't think he would. And so he shoves me up against the wall, my head slams onto the wall, there's blood on the wall, and he starts just punching me into this wall, and you can just hear it. He's punching me into the wall, he's like he's beating my head into the wall. I'm just screaming for him to stop. Then he just walks out of the bathroom. I remember I got up off the bathroom floor. And I've never even been in, like, a fight. Let alone that. And my whole body just hurt so bad. I felt like my jaw was snapped out of place. I'll never forget that feeling. I couldn't eat. Like, it was the most excruciating pain. Like, my whole lip was busted, and it was, God. So I run downstairs and I run outside, and I didn't have anybody to call. I didn't want to call my mom and say I just got beat the fuck out of. Didn't want to call my friends. I didn't know who to call. So for the first time in my life, I dialed domestic help hotline at 19 years old. And I sat there on the phone with them at 4 in the morning on the curb of my boyfriend's townhouse, crying to them about what just happened, asking them if it's normal, and they were like, it's not normal. Do you have anywhere safe to go? And I'm like, no, I don't know anybody here. I have no friends out here. He's the only person I know out here. I'm across the country from where I live. My dad's not talking to me at this point. I don't have anybody right now. And as I'm on the phone with them, I'm like walking at this point, kind of like pacing. And I'm like going around the block, and I remember I see my boyfriend outside now, walking towards me. He sees me on the phone. I'm on the phone with domestic hotline. I'll include that as well, a screenshot of me dialing the number at that time. And he's walking, and I see him. And I've never felt so scared in my life. So I was like, is he trying to kill me now? Why is he coming for me outside? And I've never felt so scared of a human being in my life. I've never, like, I'm a very paranoid person. So, like, I'm already, like, very hyper aware of people and, like, paranoid, I guess. But I can't even, like, this fear, like, it genuinely felt like I was in the Scream movie. Like, and it was my boyfriend. Like, I should be looking at him outside and wanting to give him a hug. But I just wanted to get as far away from him as possible. So I turn around and I start walking, and all of a sudden 2 police cars show up. No, I will forever fucking regret this. But I can't blame myself. I really can't. The cops pull up and they see me crying. My eyes are swollen. My lips busted. I can barely talk. Bruises on my legs. And they're talking to me, and they're like, hey, is everything okay? And I immediately just start crying, and they were like, we got a noise complaint of somebody screaming and crying. And instead of telling them the truth and getting out of the situation, I look behind me and I see that my boyfriend standing right there, and he just takes off down the road, because mind you, he's on probation. He had just gotten out of court a month ago. And then in that moment, I'm like, he's gonna go to jail. And I'm like, oh my God, he'll hate me even more. Oh my God. After he had just done this to me, and I was so scared of him, and I was like, what will he do to me if, like, what is he gonna do to me then? And I didn't know what to do, so I just started crying. And mind you, like I've said a million times at this point, me and my dad were going through a very, very rough patch in our relationship. And so I just start crying about my daddy issues. And then they gave me a hug, and they were like, I hope everything gets better, you know, go inside with your boyfriend and get some rest. And so I get back inside, and my boyfriend is downstairs on the couch. So I go upstairs into his room. I close the door. I lay down. And at this point, the sun is literally rising. I just sobbed myself to bed. I've never in my life cried like that before. I've never felt less human. Every single piece of dignity that I had left my body at that point. I'm sitting there in this bed, in this state where I know nobody. My boyfriend, the man that I trusted, loved, had just gotten extremely physical with me. The cops got called, and I still lied for him. And here I am sleeping in his bed while he's downstairs. What's going to happen in the morning? So I go to bed, and I ended up taking more videos and pictures of what had happened. And I did this for the pure fact because I thought I was going to leave. I thought I was going to leave I thought we were going to break up. I didn't, there was like 2 things going through my brain. I was like, we're going to break up. It's done. Like, how would we fix this? I mean, it wasn't because I didn't love him anymore. It was like, how would we fix this? You know, how would we fix this? How would he move past this? You know? And then the second thing was because I wanted to make sure he knew what he did to me. You know, what if he wakes up the next morning and he doesn't believe what happened? So I documented everything, and I'm forever thankful I did. Not even so that I can show other people, but so that I will forever know my truth, and I'll always have proof for myself of what happened. And I can never be called the crazy one. I can never call myself the crazy one. I can never blame these things for myself, because this shit's just not fucking human. So I go to bed at like 7 a.m. I wake up the next morning to him knocking on the door, And he throws my suitcase on the floor and he starts throwing my clothes in them. And he goes, I think you should go. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And I go on Expedia and I start looking at flights. And he's like, no, let's fix this. That day, we go to Ricardo's, a restaurant. And we book tickets to go to Hawaii together. And we booked the tickets. And that whole time we're kind of just trying to act like things are normal. And he's being a boyfriend. And I remember things trying to be normal, but I couldn't forget how different his eyes looked now. And I couldn't help shake the feeling that he was pushed past the point of no return and that there's no way that would only happen once. But I hoped, and he told me that would never happen again. And I remember he woke up the next morning and he was like, how bad really was I? How bad was I? I don't remember much. And I go like this and my whole thing's just bloody. And I point at the door in the bathroom and there's blood squirted everywhere. And I point to my floor and my vanity's shattered and there's glass everywhere, all in my makeup. And he's just like, oh, well, what did you do to make me act that way? And I looked at him and I was like, I didn't do anything. You slapped me in the face in the Uber. So I jumped out because why? I'm not going to, what? Like, whatever. So that day after we booked tickets and things were kind of just like normal as they could be, he was just trying to act like things were fine. At this point, we had posted that his car windshield was shattered, but we said it was a golf ball. In reality, 2 days before that, he had punched it instead of punching me in the face, which 2 days later, he ended up doing it anyways. So, one of these days, I can't remember the exact date of it. It was one of these days, and I did have a video of this. This is one of the videos he ended up being able to delete. But I don't fucking care. We're on the way to, at this point, in our relationship, his job was a window washer. He would door knock and be like, hey, do you want me to wash your windows? And they'd say yes. And then he'd wash their windows and make $500. And that was his job. So it was very much like his time, his clock. And so I was able to go to work with him. And for a lot of these jobs, he not only did windows, but like driveways and stuff. And when he would do driveways, power washing driveways and like sealing them, it would take hours and hours and hours. And obviously, like, I can't really help with a lot of that because there's one power washer. So I remember one of these days before we went to Hawaii, after he had put his hands on me for the first time, one of these days I looked at him and I said, you know what? One day while you're at work, I would love to take your car and like give it a car wash for you. Like, I love washing cars. When I lived in Indiana, I would wash my car all the time. Like, I love doing car washes. Like, I love washing cars. Like, I'll wash your car for you one day while you're power washing a driveway. By the time you're done power washing, I'll be back with your car freshly detailed, you know, for the free. I'll come back with some snacks too. Like, just trying to be nice. And he looks at me and he's like, why would you want to get in my car without me? And I like kind of sat back and I was like, did I say something wrong? Like, what are you talking about? And he starts going on this whole rampage about how I just want to go fuck guys. And that's why I want to go take his car to get a car wash. And I'm like, first off, what the fuck? Second off, what the fuck? But third off, you have my location on Life 360, Find My iPhone, and Snap Maps. So, I mean, and also I've never done anything to make you not trust me. Like, I'm so confused right now. And so I'm telling him that, and he's like, no, that's weird as fuck. That's weird as fuck. Why wouldn't you just want to wash my car while I'm with you? And I'm like, no, that's the point. Like, you're working while you're at work. Take your car, get it washed for you. I detail it. Like, I vacuum it, all this fun stuff. Bring it back to you. And he got really pissed off at me. This is probably one of the most dehumanizing points of our relationship that I've ever felt. So he's freaking out on me about this. He's saying it's because I want to cheat on him. He's screaming at me. He's fucking screaming at me. So he's like, no, you want to wash my car? We're going to do it fucking now. We're going to do it fucking now, bitch. We're going to do it fucking now, you stupid bitch. So we get to the car wash. He drives us there, and I'm just sobbing. Like, what the fuck did I do wrong? He's calling me all these names, slut, whore, whatever. And we pull up to the car wash, and one of his friends, this is crazy to me. I don't think he knew the extent of, like, what was happening, but still, boys will be boys, so whatever. One of his friends is working at the car wash, and so he lets us in the car wash, and he just sees me sobbing, and my boyfriend's in the passenger seat, like, smiling, because that's what he would always do, is whenever he'd do things like that and call me names and I'd start crying and stuff, he would just start, like, smiling and laughing in my face. And so we get out of, like, the outside wash, and we pull up to the vacuums, and it's completely empty. And we're just sitting in the car, and he's like, wash my car, bitch. And I look at him, and I go, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking to me like this? Like, you have no right to talk to me like this. And he's like, no, you're going to wash my fucking car. You were going to do it when I wasn't with you. You're going to do it when you're with me. If you could do it without me, you could do it with me. And starts just being like, get out of my fucking car and wash it, bitch. Like, get on your hands and knees and wash my car, bitch. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had this on fucking video. He grabs my hair like this, yanks it like this, and then slams my head on the window. And he's like, get the fuck out of my car and wash it. So at that point, I open the door, and I'm just fucking sobbing at this point. I'm just sobbing. And I grab the vacuum. I get on my fucking hands and knees, and I'm just vacuuming his car. And he's sitting there laughing at me. And he's like, yeah, bitch, make sure you get it all. Like, you wanted to wash my car so bad, you're going to do it with me here. So I'm sitting there washing it, and he ends up going to his friend who's working. And he's like, yeah, can you believe this slut? Like, she wanted to wash my car while I wasn't with her. So I'm like, okay, wash it now. Like, telling him the whole situation. And his friend's sitting there laughing about it. And I'm just on my knees in this fucking car wash, vacuuming it, sobbing. And so after like 5 minutes, I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, you wanted to wash my car, fucking do it. So we're there for 30 minutes. And I'm forced there to just vacuum his car because I offered to wash his car while he was at work. And that was like 4 days after he had put his hands on me for the first time. So yeah, I sat there on my hands and knees for about 30 minutes. Being called a bitch, a slut, everything you can think of, stupid bitch. Being forced to vacuum and wash his car for him. And then I got back in, and he just turned up the music, and we drove off. In our 9-month relationship, he called me bitch more than he called me my name or babe. And that's just fact. So we end up getting to Hawaii, and things are amazing for the first few days. And, how a relationship would be. I don't think he name called me much this time. Things were like, honestly, okay. So on the 4th day that we're there, on August 28th, and mind you, he had not gotten physical with me really bad since the first time and pulling my hair, but that wasn't like the worst of it. And slamming me up against the window, but that was whatever compared to, that was a cakewalk compared to what was gonna come. So we end up driving our mopeds. So we were staying in Honolulu, and on the 4th day we were there, we ended up going shark cage diving and all this stuff. And we ended up realizing that we really liked North Shore, which is on the complete opposite side of the island. It's like a 2-hour moped ride because we had rented mopeds. And so we end up spending the whole day on North Shore, and we find this like cliff jumping spot, and we're jumping off this cliff, and we meet like a group of people who come to Hawaii a lot, and we're just like making a bunch of friends, right? And there's this one guy who's talking to me and my boyfriend a lot at this point, a lot. And he's just super nice, super friendly, giving us spots to cliff jump off of and whatever. So the sun starts setting, and Evan and my boyfriend at this point is very intoxicated. So he's like behind a bush throwing up, and I'm sitting on the mopeds, ready to go. And mind you, I did not support him drinking and driving, but what am I gonna say? He's just gonna do it anyways, or get mad at me. So what am I gonna do? So he's throwing up, and our mopeds are started, and the guy who was talking to us a lot on the cliffs came up to me, and he was like, hey, do you mind if I like get your Snapchat? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but like I have a boyfriend, I don't think he'd like that. You could get his Snapchat though, and like we can all text. And he's like, oh, it's okay, and walks away. And I was like, oh my god, that was so funny. Like he was totally hitting on me, like how funny. So my boyfriend comes back up, and I decide, and I'm like, ooh, if I told him that had happened right now while the guy's right there, he might try to fight him. So I'm going to wait until like we go get food, because we were supposed to go get food. So we get on the mopeds, and we drive to this pizza place down the road. We get to the pizza place, and I get off the moped. I'm like, oh my god, you want to hear the funniest story? Like that guy that we were cliff jumping with asked for my Snapchat. Like, isn't that so weird, so funny? Like, guys are dogs. Like, he knew we were dating, and like, I was just like laughing about it. And he's like, you added him, didn't you? And I was like, no, like I didn't. Like, that's why I'm telling you. Like, it's a funny story. Like, why would I add him? Like, what the hell? And he's like, no, let me go through your phone right now. And mind you, at this point, I don't even think I've even touched on this yet, but going through my phone was a daily thing. And it wasn't just like going through messages. It would be an hour-long thing every single time he'd go through my phone. To the point where like, he would like go through me and my mom's text messages, which is really weird. But I knew I couldn't fight that. But yeah, mind you, at this point, he would go through my phone at least once a week for an hour. And that was just like routine for me. It was one of our rules. I actually have a list in my phone that I might share later. I don't know, of things that I was not allowed to do at all and stuff like that. But yeah, so he grabs my phone, and he like goes on the recent searches on Snapchat to where you could see it, and the dude's not on there. But here's where things get juicy. He goes on there, and he doesn't see the guy's not on there. Like, I didn't get a Snapchat, but he sees in my recent searches is this one guy. Okay, there's this one guy we're gonna call Jacob. Okay, Jacob's in my searches. Now here is some backstory on Jacob. Jacob had been on my private story for like years. Like, I've known this guy since 6th grade. We were neighbors, friends. Like, this guy's in the military, and I'm pretty sure like has a girlfriend. Like, we don't text. After he had put his hands on me, I was just like, I don't want guys on my private. I don't want a reason for him to lash out again. And so I had like looked up every single person on my private, him being one of them, and I removed him. And I'm pretty sure there was like one more, and that was Ben, my current sister's fiance. So he's like, who the hell is Jacob? And who's Ben? And I was like, okay, well, Ben is my sister's fiance, and Jacob is somebody I've been friends with for a really long time. We haven't talked in like over a year, and he was on my private story. Like, you could go through our chats. Like, we haven't talked. So he obviously goes through my chats. Me and Jacob have not texted since 2023. He goes on my iMessage, looks up Jacob. We have not texted since like 2023. Like I said, like, we just don't talk. I just didn't see a reason for this guy to be on my private story anymore. So he's like, okay, well, I want to do something on your phone. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, you can have it. So we go into Walgreens because he wanted to get more alcohol. And so we go in, and as we're walking into Walgreens, he's texting this guy, Jacob, and he's like, hey, like, what's the moves? Or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing that he said, but he was trying to act like me. And then Jacob responded, and he's like, oh, like, how's Hawaii? It was like something like that. I can't remember the exact thing, but it pissed him off that this Jacob guy knew I was in Hawaii. I'm like, dude, I kind of post everything I do online. Like, my story's public for everybody, you know? So he ends up slamming my phone onto the ground outside of this Walgreens, right in front of this guy sitting on the ground, and just storms inside. And I remember him crying, and I grabbed my phone off the ground. It's thankfully not shattered, and the guy sitting on the ground outside of the Walgreens is like, did he just do what I think he did? And I go, yeah, like, it's fine. You know, he's just going through it. So I walk inside and he's carrying the alcohol and he's like, get the fuck away from me, get the fuck away from me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, let me see your phone again. I give him my phone again. He scrolls up to his text and he sees that back in 2023, this Jacob guy had slid up on my story and said, like, you're cute, something, or like, let's link something back in 2023. And he goes, see, he's fucking texting you. You're texting him. Throws my phone on the floor again. I pick it up. My hands are shaking at this point. And I'm like, it says 2023. This was a year ago. And I'm shaking. And he's like, you're right, but still. And like storms off. So at this point, he'd thrown my phone on the ground 2 times. This is the first time doing anything like this in public too. And he was talking to me crazy, calling me a bitch, a slut, throwing my phone on the ground, whatever. So I end up getting on my moped and I drive across the street, like literally across the street. And I go into the supermarket and I'm like, I'm just going to get some Arnold Palmer's, my favorite drink, my comfort drink, and just like calm down. So I get my little Arnold Palmer and I'm sitting there sipping it. And I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm actually scared at this point that cops are going to get called because he's being very loud, cursing very loud, you know, is my girlfriend a fucking slut? And all this shit. So I'm just like across the road, like keeping my distance. So then eventually, I'm not sure how, he's like, okay, let's go to this Airbnb. I don't know how. I don't know how he got convinced to do it. I'm pretty sure later on he told me that so that he could just leave. So we end up getting to the Airbnb and, he's like, we're breaking up, like, we're done. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And he's like, you know, you have guys on your private story and they know you're in Hawaii. And I'm just like, please stop overreacting. Like, it's like, please stop. And he's just like, I don't fucking care, whatever. Sorry, I'm probably taking too long on this story. But eventually things escalate. And he's like, I'm leaving, sorry, like, you're stuck here. And so I stand up and I'm like, no, don't go, please do not fucking go, please do not fucking go. And I'm just sitting there crying. And he's like, so you're fucking this guy, aren't you? You're fucking this guy, aren't you? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And I can't recall, it was like a lot of screaming and stuff. And he had punched my head into the door as hard as he could. Like, my head just slammed into the door to the point where I remember I've never like had my head hit something so hard that like I went unconscious. But I was like very close to going unconscious, and I sat there and everything was spinning and I'm laying on the door like this at this point, and I'm like, my eyes are rolling in the back of my head because of how hard he had hit me onto the door. My ear ended up turning black after that, and there was a huge dent on my head from how hard he hit me up against it. And I'm laying on the floor in like fetal position, and he just starts kicking the fuck out at me and punching me, and he's kicking me as hard as he can, and I'm scream crying, and he's like, you learn your lesson, bitch, you learn your lesson, bitch. And then he spits on me and walks away. So I get back up, and I'm like, at this point, oh, I have never tried fighting back before. So I get up and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck's wrong with you? You don't do that to me. So then he shoves me on the floor again. And he tries to drag me by the legs into the hallway. So I grab the cabinet of the Airbnb, and he's pulling my legs so hard into the hallway. I don't know why he was trying to take me into the hallway. Probably to just, I don't know, so I couldn't run away or something. So I'm screaming and I'm like, please stop, let go of me, let go of me, let go of me, let go of me. And he pulls me so hard that the cabinet rips off the hinges of this Airbnb. And then he starts punching me again. And then he just walks away. And so at this point, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, this was definitely the worst. So at this point, I'm scared again. I'm sure you know how I feel. I've said it a million times. So I run in and I lock myself in the bathroom, because that's like the only place with a lock, and I wanted to be safe and I was scared. So I lock myself in there and I start taking pictures and videos of everything he did to me. And I'm just sitting there crying, and I remember my lip had like this weird like line on it. And so then I'm like, oh shit, what if he comes in here? Like, I just don't want him to come in here and start doing stuff. So I turn on the shower and I get naked. I get in the shower. And I'm standing in there because I'm like, this is the one place I feel like he wouldn't hurt me in, like, is the shower. So I'm standing there and I'm not even washing my hair. I'm just standing there, like, shaking from, like, what the fuck happened. I was just in shock. And so then I hear him knock on the bathroom and open it. And he walks in and he looks at me and he goes, I'll never fucking forget this. After he just beat the fuck out of me, he walks in and he goes, looks around. And I'm like sitting in there. I remember when he walked in, I can't explain the feeling of being scared of your boyfriend. Of being scared of the man that's supposed to, I cannot fucking explain that. I cannot explain how scared I was at this point of this man. So he walks in, he grabs my clothes, and he walks out. I'm like, where the fuck is he taking those? Turns out he had taken my clothes, the only clothes that I had, because, mind you, I booked this Airbnb for one night. All of our actual stuff was in Honolulu. So these were the only clothes I had. He had taken them and placed them outside. So I then had to run outside in a towel, completely naked, into the middle of this parking lot of our Airbnb, grab my clothes, and then he locked me out. At that point, I didn't feel anything besides fear and numb. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I felt numb and scared. The only emotion I could feel was anxiety. And, like, nothing was real. I just couldn't believe this was my life. I could not believe that this was my life. And I remember I was like, there's no way this is ever going to end. Because now it's been 3 times that he's done this. So, and mind you, not that it matters, but I had paid for our entire vacation to Hawaii. I had spent about $5,000 for us to get there. I had been paying for all of his food. Mind you, I haven't mentioned this yet, but at this time, as he's doing all of these things to me, he is making no money from his current job that he had, his door knocking business for window washing. So for about 5 months of our relationship, 5 months, while he was doing all of this, he was completely financially responsible on me. Every meal that he would eat came out of my pocket. Every vacation, every flight, every article of clothing, every bottle of water I would pay for. And he was still doing this to me. The Airbnb that he beat my head into a door in, I had bought. Not that it matters, but just to add to the wow of it all, yeah, I had been financially providing for him for the entire time all this was happening, including paying his car. But that night, you know, same thing, wake up, he apologizes, and I'm just so broken as a person. I've already let it slide once. What's another time? So, the 29th, we ended up just spending the day in North Shore, acting like things were normal, kind of like the first time, but it was just different. Like, I felt really sad. And why would you be sad in Hawaii? Who's sad in Hawaii on vacation? So then the next day, our Airbnb runs out of time, and so I'm like, so basically we extended our flight, but our Airbnb, so we were trying to stay an extra day, but our Airbnb was up. So we had to move from one Airbnb to another. And it was his idea that while we waited for our new Airbnb to be ready, we go drive up a mountain in Hawaii and just like go up there and hike. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. So we drop all of our luggage off at, this like luggage holding place. So we end up driving all the way up this mountain, and, I don't know what pissed him off. I'm kind of forgetting what exactly got him this time, but for some reason he was really mad. And so he's like, just leave me the fuck alone, and walks into the jungle away from me once we had driven to the top of this mountain. I'm like, okay, odd. So, he walks away. And at this point, I call my mom, and I don't tell her that he had been physical with me, but I tell her that he had been accusing me of cheating nonstop, and he was very unfaithful, or not unfaithful, but, yeah, he was unfaithful, but, that he was very not trusting, and I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? And she's like, this isn't normal, you know, he should be trusting of you, especially when he has no reason not to trust you, and basically just giving me advice. And we're on the phone for 45 minutes, and I do not see this man at all. Like, he had just walked into the jungle with this fireball and just disappeared. So then he, after 45 minutes, comes back to the mopeds, and he gets on it without saying a word to me. And I'm like, hey, is everything okay? Like, you were gone for a long time. I couldn't find you. I was scared to go into there because, like, it was muddy. Like, I don't know. I was just nervous. Like, I didn't want to go into the jungle alone. And he just looked at me, put his AirPods in, and drove off down this mountain. And I'm like, where the fuck are we going? So I get on my moped, and I start chasing him down this mountain to the point where I literally, like, crashed my moped chasing after him. He was full throttling it down this mountain, trying to lose me. And it's raining at this point in Hawaii, and I'm just, like, swerving, and I'm trying to keep up with him. I have no idea where he's going, so I end up following him. He drove 30 minutes back to the storage place with our luggage, and he's picking it up. And I'm like, where are you going? Like, why are you picking up our luggage? Like, are we going back to the new Airbnb? Like, are we going to the new Airbnb? He's like, no, I'm going back home. I'm going home. Like, fuck you. And I'm like, what did I do? And he's like, I just know you're going to cheat on me, so I kind of want to end it now. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I just know you're going to cheat on me. Like, I just don't feel like waiting around to see you cheat on me, so I'm just going to leave. Mind you, this is 2 days after I'm putting his hands on me, and I should have just let him go. But I'm not going to blame myself. I cannot explain the mindset that I was in. So, I'm like, no, you're not. So I grab his passport. This is one of the stupidest shits I did, but I did not want him to go. So I grab his passport, and I run, all the way down to, like, this hotel bathroom. And I call his mom off of my phone, and I'm like, hi, I'm really sorry. Like, I don't want to have to bring you into our relationship. Like, I know this is, like, not the vibes, but, Evan today has been really rude to me. He's been calling me names. He's trying to break up with me. He's saying he knows I'm going to cheat on him. Like, I feel like he's just trying to run from the relationship. And I don't tell her that he had been putting hands on me. And she was like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to call him and try to talk to him. So she calls him, and they're talking. And at this point, he ends up riding his moped to the new Airbnb and not to the airport. And so we get into the Airbnb, and he's like, you know what, Mom, I'll call you back. And so it's our first time, like, being in a space together, and he wasn't ignoring me since the moped ride down the mountain. And I'm just like, why do you want to break up? I'm not going to cheat on you. It's just, like, exhausting. I was just like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, I just know you are, and I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? So we start screaming at each other, and I'm like, you're fucking drunk. Because mind you, at this point, I just found out that while he was on the mountain, he had drank the entire thing of 12 shooters. He had drank all 12 shooters on this mountain. So he's hammered. And we start yelling, and oh, would you guess it? Things got physical again. I was, like, in the corner of the room by the glass door, and I'm in, like, fetal position, and he's just beating the fuck out of me, punching my arm as hard as he can, just punching me. And so I, like, run outside onto the balcony just to get away from him. And I end up calling my mom, and I'm like, Mom, like, why does he think I'm going to cheat? And at this point, I have her on speaker. I'm, like, so manic. Like, I've gotten beat. Like, I can't even explain how manic I felt. Like, this dude had beaten the fuck out of me twice on this trip so far already. And he's now trying to break up with me because he thinks I'm going to cheat. Like, bro, I just stayed with you and you beat the fuck out of me. But you're, like, you know what I mean? Like, the manipulation of it all. Like, he just beat the fuck out of me, and now he's breaking up with me because he just knows I'll cheat on him. And that's honestly what he said. He was fully convinced that I was just going to cheat on him, so he wanted to save himself from getting hurt now. So I call my mom, and I'm like, Mom, tell him how loyal I am. Like, Mom, do you think I'd ever do that? Like, what the fuck? And I want to say, when you get to a position like this, when somebody's this crazy about you cheating, it's more than, like, I would never cheat on you. It's more of, like, do you even fucking know me? Like, do you know me at all to think I'm capable of doing something like that? You know, it's just like, what the fuck? And so I'm just like crying, and he's like saying fucked up shit to me on the phone with my mom. My mom heard it all, and I just look at him and I'm like, you're a fucking alcoholic, and I hang up on my mom. And that since the day she never liked him. So we end up calling his parents on the balcony, and they talk him off the ledge he was on, and he's like, we're gonna stay together, like, I guess I just have trust issues from my childhood, and I'm just taking them out on her, and I love her so much, I'm just so scared to lose her, I love her too much, like, I love her too much, I'm obsessed with her. And so I'm sitting here like, oh, he's just obsessed with me, whatever. So yeah, beat me on the 28th and the 30th, so it was like a double whammy in Hawaii. So yeah, the next day we ended up going back on a flight to California. So the last time he had put his hands on me was the last day we were in Hawaii, which was August 30th. And then fast forward, and we go to New Jersey for a photo shoot that I had, and then we decided to celebrate that photo shoot by going to New York on September 5th. So September 5th, we end up taking a train down to New York, and we were just going to spend, I think, 2-3 days in New York. He had never been there. We were in New Jersey. It's an hour train ride, so like, let's do it. So we end up going out to Times Square that night, and we're having a good time. I meet a group of girls down there. They're super nice, and we're just like all having a great time. And I don't know what happened again. He gets belligerently drunk, and he is mad at me, and he will not talk to me, and he's ignoring me. That at this point in our relationship, it was in the middle of it, he would do this thing to where he would get mad at me for no reason, especially when he drank, and then he would just ignore me, go completely mute, silent, ignore me, like act like I don't exist. And then it would just drive me crazy, and I would just start crying, and I'd get really upset, and then I'd go quiet. And then like 2 hours later, he would just act like nothing happened and be like, how are you, babe? After ignoring me for 2 hours while I'm like scream sobbing about how like, please talk to me, like what's wrong? So this was the beginning of that phase for him. So he gets mad at, I don't even know what, in New York. And we end up going to Five Guys, and we're eating, he's not talking to me, and I'm like, hey babe, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm actually trying to figure out what's wrong. And old me comes back for a second. I kind of like get my dignity up again, and I start calling him out for it. And I'm like, you look dumb as fuck. You're sitting here in New York for fucking free, mad at what? And so I'm sitting here like making fun of him, and I'm like, you're sitting here mad as fuck. You're in New York for free. You're celebrating me and the photo shoot I just did. And you're in New York, and you're mad for what? Like, what the fuck are you mad about right now? And so I'm calling him out for his shit, and he's sitting there silent. He's sitting there silent. He's sitting there silent. And he's just sitting there silent, like not saying anything. Sitting there, he's not saying anything at all. And I'm just poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear. He's ignoring me. He's ignoring me. He's not paying attention to me. And this was in the beginning of his phase of doing this, so I didn't really know how to treat it or react to it. And so I'm just poking the bear, like, what the fuck are you mad about? You're in New York for free to celebrate me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, and later find out this is a form of narcissism, to where something isn't about them. When something isn't about them and they want it to be about them, they have to cause a problem to create a solution to make it about them, you know? Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Instead of congratulations, babe. So instead of celebrating me and congratulations, Kayla, it's me being like, what are you upset about? Are you okay? And just, it's a narcissistic tendency. Later to find out that's exactly what it is. So, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this tonight. So I'm just sitting there, and so we go down to the subway, we get on the train, and he's still not talking to me. And so we get off of the subway train, and he's ignoring me. He has not said a single word to me. And so we get to a side street, waiting for the light to turn green, because we're walking to our hotel for us to walk, and we're standing there on this corner. And you want to know what the first thing he said to me was? After ignoring me for 4 hours, he looks at me, and he just goes, slut. I remember I felt so much rage in my body, and I shouldn't have done this. I know I shouldn't have. But mind you, he had put his hands on me so many times at this point that I was I wasn't desensitized to it, but I was just like, what the fuck? So I slap him in the face. Not that hard. Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't have slapped him in the face. Looking back at it, I'm like, finally, I got my one lick back, because I could never hit that man back, ever, because he was so strong. I would never fight back. Honestly, I actually don't care. I don't care. I'm happy I slapped him in the face. He really fucking deserves it. So I slapped him in the fucking face. Sorry, fucking cry about it. Slapped him in the face. He looked me after ignoring me. Mind you, he ignored me for 4 hours. He's beaten the fuck out of me 5 times at this point. He's in New York, and he's ignoring me for 4 hours on Times Square for no reason, mad for no reason, and just looks at me and goes, slut. So I slapped him in the fucking face. Sorry, fuck you. And, I'm getting really mad thinking about this. This part is not funny, though. Slap him in the face, and I start walking away towards the hotel. I then hear him coming up from behind me. And he didn't know what he was going to do. But mind you, we're in public. Like, what is he going to do? What would he do? He then runs up to me and shoves me as hard as he can down a subway. You know, like the subway things where you go down to catch the subway. He pushed me as hard as he could down one of those. And I fell backwards like this. So I fell backwards. He shoved me as hard as he could down there. And my body literally skipped all the stairs, fell down smack on my back, and I just slide down the subway stairs. And I remember when I fucking hit the bottom, I couldn't feel my body. I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't fucking move anything. So I'm sitting there screaming, I can't fucking move. I can't move. And I'm just screaming. I'm like, I'm fucking paralyzed. Like, I thought I was paralyzed. I'm like, I can't feel anything. I can't feel anything. Please help. I can't get up. And I had hit my back at the very bottom, and I literally could not get up. I could not walk. I could not feel anything. I was in so much fucking pain. And I couldn't move my legs. It was like the most excruciating feeling. I couldn't move. And I look, and he's just standing at the top like this, just looking at me laying down. And all of a sudden, this girl runs down, and she's like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck just happened? Hold on. She's like, what the fuck just happened? And she runs down, and she grabs me, and she's like, are you fucking okay? I'm calling an ambulance right now. And I'm just like sobbing, and I'm like, he shoved me down the stairs. And she looks up, and Evan, and he's standing right there, and he's just looking down. And at that point, he like comes down, and he's like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, get the fuck away from her. I just saw you shove her down these stairs. And he's just like, no, I didn't. She's like, I'm calling the fucking cops. And he takes off, and he runs away. This dude shoves me down a fucking subway train, and I'm sitting here saying I can't fucking move. I can't walk. And he fucking runs away before even knowing if I can if I'm okay. Because he was scared of going to jail. So the girl ends up helping me up. The cops come. They're looking for him. He ended up hiding. The girl walked me back to my hotel room. I go into my hotel room, and I'm sitting up there. I can't fucking walk. I'm in so much fucking pain. I'll insert a picture. I ended up having, I wish I had more pictures of it, but he was the only person that would be able to take pictures of my back, because it's on my back, and he obviously didn't want to. So I have one picture, and I had the biggest bruise I've ever seen on my back. I wasn't able to walk without being in pain. And mind you, about 4 years ago, I was in a car accident, and I had messed up this lower part of my back. So this had kind of like restarted the injury. And so I couldn't walk without being in pain. So I kind of had to like limp around. And she walks me back up to the hotel room. And 2 hours later, after I'm falling asleep, I'm just sobbing. I'm sobbing. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? Once again, who am I going to call? And he calls me, and he's like, the cops are outside. Fuck you. Why did you let her call the cops? And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? And he starts yelling at me. He's like, I can't even go up to our fucking hotel room right now because that girl just called the cops. And I'm like, dude, you just shoved me down subway trains. I can't fucking walk. Like, my back's fucked up. And I had, like, scrapes on my arms and shit from, like, sliding down the subway. And I'm like, I'm fucking in so much pain right now, and you're mad at me that the cops are here? Like, what the fuck? And she's like, you shouldn't have let that girl call the fucking cops. And he's screaming at me on the phone. So I just hang up on him, and I'm just sobbing at this point even more, because once again, he never apologized. Like, what the fuck? Around 6 in the morning, I'm pretty sure, he ends up sneaking into the hotel through, like, a back door, and, knocks at, the hotel door, and I let him in, and I'm pretty sure this hotel room, yeah, I had 2 twin beds, so he slept on one, and I slept on the other, and, we were in New York for, I think, 2 more days after that. And I couldn't walk the whole time. And what do you do in New York? You walk everywhere. And I couldn't walk. So I was in pain the entire fucking time because he had shoved me down a subway train station. And the next day I called my mom and I lied to her and I said I slipped and fell. Because what the fuck am I going to say? Later down the line, I ended up telling his brother about this. On our way back from a Christmas family vacation, I told him, and I was like, he pushed me down subway stairs. And to this day, that is the only time he would own up to ever putting his hands on me to my friends when they called him out for it, when they ended up catching him mid-act. We'll get there. But he would only own up to shoving me down the subway stairs. So that was probably one of the worst times because I did think I was paralyzed. That injury was probably the scariest. I've never had that back pain like that in my life. I've never, if you've been to New York, you know how steep they are. They go like straight down. They're pure concrete. They literally go like this. And he had shoved me from the top one. I slammed all the way down here on my back. My back hit a stair, a concrete stair, and I slid down slowly. And he didn't even try to help me. He ran off because the cops were coming. She called the cops, and then he blamed it on me that the cops were there and that he couldn't go to bed till 6 a.m. Yeah. I'm like out of tears to fucking cry. So September 5th that happened. I'm sure you could guess how things went. There was still the verbal abuse throughout it. That time, I'm pretty sure during that time, this live stream happened. I'll insert it at the end to where he was just being rude and it was on lives. Thankfully, somebody had clipped it. So I'm able to have that of just how he would talk to me. I'm pretty sure it was around this time. Just the verbal abuse. He hadn't been physical. He would do things to where it's like he would pinch me and know that it would hurt me as hard as he could. He would do little things that weren't necessarily domestic violence, but pinch me as hard as he could because he knew it would hurt me, or just do little things because he knew that it would hurt me. But nothing significant. And then October 22nd came around. I'm pretty sure it was either October 20th, 21st, or 22nd. It was one of my friend's birthdays. And it was right around Halloween. And we got invited. And this was a birthday party with a lot of friends that I knew and people I wanted him to meet. And so I was really excited. And at this point, we were in California. And he had basically moved in to California, my house there. We would go back to Nashville maybe once a month because he had like a probation. Because he had like a probation check-in. But besides that, he was basically living in California with me at this point. He was completely financially dependent on me. Yeah, just like giving some lore on our relationship. And yeah, so we were spending every day together at this point. And new character into the story. This is one of my best friends, Brennan, who we started to hang out with a lot during this time, especially Emma, my roommate. While I was stuck with my boyfriend, Emma would hang out with Brennan. And just for a little side story, Brennan is a gay man. But my boyfriend did not believe that he was gay. And this story is a time that... So it's October 22nd. And we go to this Halloween party, like I was saying, and we get there, and it's Brennan, Emma, me, and my boyfriend. And so I'm introducing him to everybody, and, you know, I'm talking to all of my friends because a lot of my friends were there, and he starts to get upset that I wasn't talking to him the whole time and I was talking to my friends. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I'm just trying to say hi to everybody. I haven't seen them in a while, because also he did not allow me to go out to parties. So I hadn't seen these people in a really long time, so I'd always see them at parties. And this was our first time going to a party in like a really long time, probably since like the 4th of July. So he just is like upset with me. And so then my boyfriend is like talking to this one influencer, and I'm talking to Brennan, okay? And my boyfriend had met Brennan plenty of times at this point, plenty of times. And my boyfriend was still just convinced that he was not gay. So, me and Brennan are talking about something, and he can't hear me. So I like go up to his face, and I like grab his face, and I'm like whispering like this. I'm trying to think of exactly how I did it. Like, I'm pretty sure I went like this to his face and like grabbed his cheek so he would like hear my ear, like something like that. Like, I was trying to grab his face so I could get closer to his ear and he would like listen to me. So I'm pretty sure it's like, pretend I'm Brennan and like you're grabbing my face. It's kind of like a this, and then like you're whispering in my ear like this, right? So I'm whispering in his ear, trying to tell him something. And then my boyfriend comes up to me and he's like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, what are you talking about? Wait, what did I do? And he was like, why were you grabbing his face like that? And I was like, what do you mean? And like, I actually didn't know what he was talking about, because I didn't do anything I didn't do anything weird that would be like alarming to somebody, as like, you know, I was genuinely like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't do anything. I was just talking to him. And he's like, oh, so you're going to fucking lie to me now? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he grabs me as hard as he can. And mind you, we're at a party with people everywhere. He grabs my face. He goes, like this. You grabbed him like this. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, I didn't do that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I did, like, I don't remember doing that. So then he goes up to Brennan. And he's like, I want you to fuck. He goes up to Brennan and he goes, I want you to fuck my girlfriend right now. And he's like, what the fuck did you just say? And he's like, I want you to fuck my girlfriend right now. Kayla, dance on him right now. And he's like sitting there screaming at me. He's like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of Brennan, if you do not dance on him right now. You need to twerk on him right now. Twerk on him right now. And so I'm sitting there like, what the fuck's going on? And so I'm trying to take it as like a joke, because it's like a very awkward situation. So I start just like dancing with Brennan, and he's like, no, twerk on Brennan. Start twerking on fucking Brennan. And at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So Brennan's very uncomfortable, and we're just sitting there like, what the fuck's happening? And so he's like, no, like, we need to go talk. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So we end up going to this back room. This was at a nightclub in Los Angeles. So there's a downstairs and upstairs, and then there's the bathrooms, and then there's a back room with curtains that nobody's supposed to go in, and there's like a bunch of chairs in there. It's like a storage room. So he brings us back there, and it's just chairs and like storage, and it's like completely dark in there, and nobody's in there. And he starts screaming at us, and he's like, I know you want to fuck my girlfriend. You're not fucking gay, Kayla. You're a fucking whore. You want to fuck him. You want to fuck him. You want to fuck him. And he's like, I want you guys to fuck right now. Go ahead, fuck right in front of me. And we're sitting there, and at this point, I'm like crying, and I'm like, please stop. Like, I don't know what you're, like, this is so weird. Like, why are you talking to my friends like this? Like, he's gay. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I was talking to him. And at this point, I don't even know what he's still talking about when he's like, why were you touching him like that? And I'm like, I still don't know what he's talking about, because all I was doing was like, I was so confused. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And, so at this point, he ends up grabbing Brennan and throwing him into chairs. So he like gets in his face, and he's like screaming at him, and he's like, you want to fuck my girlfriend? You want to fuck my girlfriend, bro? You want to fuck my girlfriend? Picks him up, throws him into the chairs, because there was like a bunch of chairs, turns around and is like, yeah, fuck you, bitch, and throws me into the chairs. And so me and Brennan are laying in these chairs, like, what the fuck? And I'm like getting up, and somebody walks in, one of my very good friends, shout out to him. And he walks in, he's like, yo, is everything okay? And my boyfriend's like, yeah, things are fine, and walks out. And then I walk out, and then Brennan walks out, and I went to the bar, and I got as hammered as I could to forget it. Because, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? What the fuck am I gonna do? So yeah, that was one of the times he accused me of wanting to fuck my gay friend, and my gay friend fucked me. Yeah. So now we're going to October 30th. So about a week later, I was having a very exciting Spencer's drop coming out. So I wanted to go to Nashville to be out of the LA party scene so I could actually focus. And at this point, I was having a lot of issues with the house I was living in. So I just wanted to get an Airbnb in Nashville. Plus, Evan had like a drug check-in around then. So for his probation. Plus around this time, my boyfriend was having like a check-in with his probation around that time. So we had to be down there anyways, and I just wanted to be in a fresh area so I could really focus on my work and not go to Halloween parties because it was right around Halloween. So we're in Nashville and we get invited to a house party, and it's the 30th or 31st. It's around there. It's like it was either right before Halloween or right after Halloween, and we get invited to this party. And me and my boyfriend are sitting in the car for like 2 hours instead of going to this party, and we're supposed to meet up with his friends. And so after 2 hours, we get out of the car and we walk into this house party with his friends, and it ends up being like the wrong house party. I don't know. It was like lame or something. And so like we're all like, okay, like we should go. And my boyfriend had went into the backyard to see if anybody was back there. And I'm just like in the house with his friends. And he walks back in and his friend is like, okay, we should leave. And I'm like, yeah, let's leave. And so we all walk out. So then my boyfriend and me get in the car and we're like, okay, it's time to go. And my boyfriend looks at me and he goes, why the fuck were you only ready to go and my friend was ready to go? And I was like, what? And he's like, you only said you wanted to go because my friend said he wanted to go. And I was like, no, like we were all saying we wanted to go. Like, what are you tweaking about right now? So he's like, let me grab your fucking phone. Like, give me your phone. I want to go through it. He grabs my phone. He goes through it to see if I added his friend on Snapchat. I never did. And then he slams my head up against the window again. And I'm like, get me the fuck out of the car. Get me out of the car. I might not be able to finish this tonight. I'm gonna take a break for a second, guys. This is a lot. What the?
I just fucking bashed my
bro, my jaw.
Good. Did you get fucked by big black niggas? I hope so, you fucking slut. Everyone on the road said, hey, give me that.
Fuck you. You keep hitting me. Oh, my jaw.
You are so dumb.
You broke my jaw. You broke my jaw. I'm calling the police. You broke my jaw. You broke my jaw. You broke my jaw. I didn't do it.
What?
You're the biggest pussy I've ever met. I can't wait to your mom
Sees what?
that you fucking broke my jaw and you hit me multiple times. And that you fucking broke the Fuck you, Evan. I did nothing.
I like you, bro. You're done.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Evan. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You're a fucking whore.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Smell your pussy. Is it spreading?
Fuck
Is it spreading?
Fuck you.
I don't like you no more.
Ow!
Bitch, get the fuck away from me.
Fuck you, Evan.
Bitch, get the
Fuck you.
Get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away. I'm trying to fix my broken hand from your slut ass behavior. I hope you enjoyed Broadway. I sat by a trash can waiting 30 minutes for your fucking ass. 30 minutes for your fucking ass. Where were you? Fucking by a black nigga. Probably fucking. Fuck you, bitch. I hope you fucking deserve it, bitch. Oh, look how spread that pussy is, bitch. Look how spread that pussy is. Look how spread that pussy is. bitch. Please. I can smell that pussy from a mile away.
Calling your mom.
I would be deserving you.
Oh my god.
I'll see you never. Matter of fact, you wake up in the morning, I'm gone, bitch.
For what? For what?
Huh?
For what?
You're a slut. You're a whore.
Even though I just saved your life tonight?
Oh, you did? Look, where are you sleeping? Slut bag, bitch ass nigga.
Because of what you just did. Because of what you just did.
You're a whore, bitch. Yo, pussy's loose. You like my dick because I'm good. Shut the fuck up. All you ever wanted from me is sex, bitch. Shut the fuck up. I'm done. I'm going back to Nashville. You mean nothing to me. Nothing. Nothing, buddy. Nothing. Get your hair extensions. Get your nails done. I got TikTok, but damn my pussy's hella stretchy. Damn my pussy's hella smelly. Damn my pussy's hella purple. And yeah, it might look some certain way, but shit, still hit that shit. I'm a virgin. Matter of fact, I got 10 bodies, bitch. Times that by 10. You got damn near 1,000, you whore ass skank. I'll be gone in the morning. When I sober up, I'm gone.
Emma, can I come in?
You don't mean nothing to me. You're dirt water, bitch.
How do I get him out of my fucking room? I don't want him in there. He's gonna destroy my stuff. We're done. I'm like, actually cannot believe what the fuck he just. I'm like literally shaking. Literally like. Literally the fuck. Literally the fuck. Who are you? Like, I hope y'all know how hard this is. Like, oh, nope, not for you. Like, that is literally like I can't even.
I had to tell my sneaky links I had
anger issues. Oh, just to see how hard this wood is. I mean,
I had to tell my sneaky links over just a couple of rangers.
Right. Like, that's hardwood. Like, you know how hard you have to buy to my security deposit.
Y'all, she's texting some Indiana number, like, right now. Hello? Break up. Let's break up. Right now on live. You ready? I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Yep. Set it here. Set in stone on live. There's a red flag if I go through your phone. That's crazy.
Everybody's saying you're annoying.
Well, fuck them. Fuck you guys. I love the people that actually care. All the people that say I'm annoying are probably like...
They do. They just want you in the live. Like,
No,
you
the
can
fuck
literally
they
go
don't.
through my phone on live, just like be
No,
in it.
I love every single one of y'all that love me, but the ones that say I'm annoying...
I'm just saying I didn't start this
Eat a
live,
bag
so
of
like
dicks.
at least be
Eat
in
a
it.
bag of dicks, the ones saying I'm annoying. Eat a bag of dicks. The people that fuck with me, fuck with me.
The brows look good. Thanks, queen.
All the other ones, eat a bag of dicks, honestly. I can ship them to you if you want. I got 4 inches, 2 inches, 8 inches, whatever you want. I can send them over to your house and you can eat a whole bag of them. I'm not even doing nothing.
You're not even in the live for like.
You were just in the live. Why when I take your phone, you're just
You were
losing
in
your
it.
shit? I
I'm
don't
not. It's just
understand.
annoying.
Babe, this is the first time I took your phone in like fucking 2 months.
I know, but we're on live. Like, do it after. Like, you wanted to go live. That's like all I'm saying is you wanted to go live, so let's go live. Go through it when we're like on the way to Starbucks or something. Like, I'll drive, go through it. Like, I don't care. It's literally just annoying. It's the second you get on live and then you go through my phone. Like, that's just weird in my opinion.